Alright, let's just cut back to the chase. I promised you a draft recap, and we are going to do it. Hello, my name is Shadow Gallade, and welcome to an update video and a recap for the Devil's Den League. We're in the big leagues now, boys. What do I mean by the big leagues? Let me show you. Look at that! We have an Elgato! It works! I'm schmoving. I'm moving from side to side. It's much more interesting than it sounds, trust me. Yeah, but the Elgato in our grasp, like the possibilities of what we can do, expand. Before we just play on emulators, but now we have the power. The absolute power. But, well, there's more I have planned, but that's to be shown off at a later date. For now, let's just get into this draft. So basically, this is Gen 9, and it was an open draft. Now, this actually isn't my team. I picked it up from a friend who had to drop. So, yeah. There will be some changes made, which I will point out as we go along. First things first, Ting-lu, the funny deer guy. Now, I'm just going to keep it straight. I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't know what this thing does. Like, it's a wall, and it refuses to get one shot. That much I understand, but, like, I don't know. It's just a lot I don't know. So I'm interested to find out what exactly Ting-lu is. It does get things like Ruination, which is basically a super thing. It gets pretty much every hazard you could ask for, and it gets Whirlwind for some nice phasing. Plus, it does hit decently hard with its 2 stabs. But I think it's going to be a main hazard setter, but again, I'm not too sure. But what I am sure is that this is going to be a panic takedown, and our opponents are going to hate fighting this thing. Next up, the first change, and the first All-Star, because this is basically an all-star season. This is the Devil's Den League, so some of my best friends are going to be here, and people who are actually going to be uploading this league as well. So our first all-star is Pete. Now, you may see that post-week 1 thing, and let me explain. So the original guy who drafted this team, another friend of mine, had a later Mon on his roster, get their captain post. But once I took over the team, I decided to change it to Dragon Knight after week 1. So as for what Dragon Knight itself does, what it does, it's currently running house in the OFC right now. It carried us to MLP Season 12. And overall, this thing is an absolute monster. And with Terra Normal E-Speed, it only gets stronger. Not only that, multi-scale means it is a nice panic button for a nice any instant scenario, and should we need to get to it, and knowing this team, we probably will need to get to it. Not to mention its coverage is absolutely bonkers insane, and its bulk is not half bad too. Overall, super excited to have Pete back on the team, and cannot wait to use him again. Next up, the base department is here. Tinkaton. Now, besides the funny Gigaton hammer, what can I say Tinkaton does? Well, Tinkaton just does... It's not just really annoying. Nice utility moves like Fake Out, Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave. Not to mention Steel Fairy. Great defensive typing. Excellent synergy, carries and deals with a whole lot of threats Dragon and Ting-lu don't want to. Mostly those pesky ice types that are going to kill us later. And overall, it's very fast for a steel type. So we'll get some nice utility for fairy killing. Sorry, just had punch. As for our fourth pick, this is the main tour de force, in my opinion. Like, there are several tour de forces on this team, but this is the main one. Mouse Soul is here! Anyone who's played Gen 9 will tell you how terrifying a well-played Mouse Soul can be. Not only that, it's the best hazard move we have, as Tidy Up can't even be blocked by things like Golden Go. Plus, Tidy Up is the default plus Dragon Dance, and Population Bomb, even without the +1 boost, murders a lot of Pokemon. And most move pool is shallow. It's just enough to where Technician means it can bully everything into submission with Bite or Low Kick. Or Bullet if I really wanted to be the loaded dice guy. I probably will. Other than that, it's a nice ghost immunity, and yeah, I wish this was my Terra Captain, but Dragon Knight was just too good to pass up. Next up, Dondizo for week 1. After week 1, we're actually going to be trading it to another coach, ironically our week 2 opponent, for his Vaporeon, so I'll go over both of them now. Dondizo is mostly a wall. It's an unaware panic button, basically. So on the blood set, it's really hard to one-shot with massive HP set and high physical defense, but Ting-lu already does that. Plus, Vaporeon is able to Wish Pass, and he gets Calm Minus Gen, similar to the other evolutions, which you can check out in OFC. Overall, I like Donzel, but just times it did in VGC, I've left a bitter taste in my mouth. Plus, Vaporeon, a Wish Passer is always great when you have threats like Ting-lu and Dragonite, especially Ting-lu, who lacks viable recovery. Next up, in another All-Star pick? Paldean Tauros Fire. Now, whether or not this counts as a mascot pick is up for debate. What I can say about Tauros is that it's going to hit hard, and it's going to do it fast. This thing had its corner several times in OFC recently. And, well, the combination of things like Close Combat and Flare Blitz is absolutely excellent. Sure, it's not going to hit it as hard without Sheer Force like its Cantonian counterpart, but it is still terrifyingly powerful. And I'm extremely excited to use this powerful fire type to just run the hands, just bulldoze through everything. Next up, let's just go right into the next pick. Amoonguss. I'm not gonna say it. Wait, I already did. Crap. So let's talk about what it does before I make any more Among Us jokes. So what Amoonguss does, it has 4. So anyway, on to our 8th pick. No, I'm kidding. No, what Amoonguss can do, besides doing that, like, despite how low its stats is, it is a very effective wall due to being a poison type. And since it's basically immune to tricks, since nobody wants to trick a Black Sludge onto themselves. Plus, with Generator, it makes for some very annoying cores, especially in combination with things like Wish, Pass, Vaporeon, or Ting-lu, being the ever-present walls they are. Plus, Clear Smog can make a panic button in a pinch, since we're getting rid of Donzo post Week 1. Now, yes, just keep going. Now, an All-Star pick after Week 1. Belly Bolt, but we're switching it to Raichu after Week 1. Let's talk about what Belly Bolt can do. Belly Bolt is a funny little guy. Like, look at him. He just looks like something you want. Like, oh, he even looks like he wants to give you a hug. How can you not say you want to love this little guy? He's a lovable little goober. And well, his coverage is pretty shallow, being limited to most things like Parabolic Charge Muddy Water and Terra Blast if he was the captain, which he isn't. But surprisingly, it gets the job done, because after Electromorphosis, it's surprisingly terrifying. And yeah, none of that Slug Offense has some nice revival recovery to take advantage of its alright defenses. Unfortunately, that's where its coverage ends, as really, the thing we're swapping it out for, another All-Star, Raichu's coming back to the Tauros heels, baby. Raichu's the boy. I love Raichu. He does what we needed to do. Sure, he lost extreme speed between Gens 8 and 9, but that's fine. He still has almost all the coverage he needed from last gen. And true, no health chip's gonna suck, but take what you can get. Raichu's gonna give us a nice electric immunity and a nice nuke with Volt Tackle. I'm using Volt Tackle. But yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun with the Raichu. And Belly Bolt, I guess I'll enjoy you Week 1. Spoilers, Belly Bolt's coming Week 1. And now our 9th pick, another All-Star. Like I said, this is an All-Star season. We're bringing out the best. I really didn't get to pick, but Lamar drafted a lot of All-Stars for me, so that's nice. The Black Air Force Energy mascot is here. Gothitelle is here to trap things, be annoying, take out the threats that neither Maushold or Ting-lu would want to deal with. Mainly the fairies that'll give Dragonite a hard time, or some bulky steals that would give Dragonite a hard time. A lot of things giving Dragonite a hard time, long story short. And again, what makes Gothitelle interesting is that it does more work on the bench than most mods do on the field. Like, just it existing makes you think, do I bring Shed Shell on this thing? Because, like, if Gothitelle comes, then cool. If Gothitelle comes in and you don't bring the Shed Shell, you lose. Like, if Gothitelle doesn't come and you do bring the Shed Shell, well, then you're losing out on valuable items, like a Choice Scarf for leftovers. That's the problem with Gothitelle. It just forces you to think. It's like that little demon in the back of your head saying, but what if this were to happen? And yeah, I'm going to enjoy using this thing like we did in a previous LFC season. I'm looking forward to Gothitelle coming back. Next up, let's take a break from the All-Stars for a bit and talk about the original Terra Captain, which we will have for Week 1, Miss Magius. Magius is a sweeper. There's no question about that. Magius is also like Ghost Step is very dangerous in the right hands, and we are in the right hands. Not only that, I can block Rapid Spin, which will be nice for threats like if we wanted to go head stacking with Ting-lu, which we probably will at some point in the near future. And that's all the coverage it needs despite losing access to Terra Fighting after week 1. But it's fine, we can make it work. Other than that, Weatherman was banned, so this was the next best option. Rightfully so, though. And for our final pick, one last All-Star. Lycan Rock Day. Now, Lycan Rock Day does... You know what it does. It hits fast, it hits hard. It counters Sand if we ever want to fight a Tyranitar. It's funny. He's a funny little guy. He has all the same coverage he did during the last time we saw him on the channel. And I'm looking forward to running him back again. It doesn't hit as hard as his Dust Form counterpart, but hey, that 2 speed is going to make all the difference. I'm saying that sarcastically, but it actually probably will do something. Other than that, it has some nice utility in things like Counter and Stone Edge, and that's all I gotta say. We got Lycanroc, Smagius, Gothitelle, Bellibolt / Raichu, Amoonguss, Tauros, Dunzo / Vaporeon, Mousehold, Tinkaton, Pete, and Ting-lu. I'm looking forward to this. We got some big names in this league, and some very personal names to me, so we're gonna go all in and show no mercy. See you guys week 1. Ta-ta!